Good evening, Mr. Bond fans, and welcome once again. So, here today to talk about some news that I was not expecting, and I don't know if anyone was expecting, but yeah, Danny Boyle has stepped down from directing Bond 25. In a statement put out on all the official Bond channels, it says, Michael G. Wilson, Barbara Broccoli, and Daniel Craig today announced that due to creative differences, Danny Boyle has decided to no longer direct Bond 25. So obviously this is a massive friggin' disappointment to people like me who have mentioned in at least a couple of videos now how excited I was that, first of all, that Danny Boyle was going to be directing it and that John Hodge was going to be writing the script, and presumably the script that they had, or maybe still have, is going to be either severely rewritten or scrapped completely. All that stuff about the casting call from like a month or so ago. Who knows if that's still going to be relevant, and, you know, I'm sure there's going to be more people in Danny Boyle's creative team that now decide to leave the film. I think the most concerning aspect of this news is that it could affect the release date. In fact, I'll be very surprised if it doesn't affect the release date, which means we might be waiting until at least 2020 before we get the next Bond film. I can't imagine they're going to break from their sort of October, November, autumn time ritual of releasing, so I'm assuming that October, November 2020 is when we're going to potentially see the next Bond film. What I find incredibly interesting about this news is that Daniel Craig was included in the announcement as being a deciding factor. I'm assuming that he's going to have some kind of co-producer credit, like what he had on Spectre on this, so I'm sure he's a huge part of the decision-making process. But to say that him and Boyle previously worked together, you know, I'm just surprised that because of creative differences. I mean, I'd be fascinated to know what Danny Boyle had actually pitched them that they thought was just too different or out there, or whatever reason it was. I really hope we find out someday. Danny Boyle is normally very forthcoming and honest in interviews, so I'm sure we'll get the story someday, but it's probably not going to be for a long while. I just realised I haven't apologised. I hadn't shaved in a few days. I'm sorry, I didn't think I was going to have to make this video, so please excuse my slovenly appearance. I'm sure you're all massively disappointed that I haven't shaved, so it's just a huge day of disappointment, really, isn't it? I mean, heck, they were literally supposed to start shooting in like 3-4 months. I'm so stupefied by this news. I am really... Yeah, it's gonna take a while to process this, and now we go back to, you know, director wish lists, and whatever. It's, I don't know, it's just kind of annoying, because this felt like it was going to be a film where, like, you know, Boyle and the producers and everything, they'd had a lot of time. Like, for God's sake, Danny Boyle and John Hodge were announced months ago. How could it take them so long to figure out if they've got creative differences or not? I mean, okay, fine, but it's just so disappointing, this news. The release date, I'll be baffled if the release date doesn't get changed, because this felt good because it felt like they had a lot of time to craft something. You know, they had had a lot of time for Casino Royale, they had a lot of time for Skyfall as well. So 4-year gap, it seemed like it was going to be a good omen. You know, Danny Boyle came in with a great original idea, well, apparently, if we ever find out what that was. And now that's all gone. So, yeah, interesting. I'm curious to know, is anyone out there, like, happy about this news? Any, like, ardent anti-Danny Boyle fans, like, actually quite thrilled about this? I'm just curious to know. I mean, you know, I know it's not the end of the world or anything, but I'll just be very curious to see what happens next. I mean, who knows? I'm assuming that Neil Purvis and Robert Wade will be getting telephone calls sometime very, very soon. And, you know, who knows, maybe they'll go back to Martin Campbell. It's not too bad a shout, actually. But yeah, just wanted to kind of put this video together really quickly to see what everyone else's reaction to this news is. I'm kind of devastated, but, you know, that's the business, I guess. I'd like to let Barbara, Michael, and Daniel know that I am free to begin duties. You know, if you want me to write and direct, I can totally do that. So yeah, give me a call, Michael. So yes, please let me know what your thoughts and feelings about this news are in the comments below. Get some interesting discussion going. And, yeah, here's to going back in time a few months and wondering who the director of the next Bond film is actually going to be. So long for now, Bond fans.